Hey y'all, welcome to Robyn on the Farm. Today I have a really great bread recipe to share with you. This is going to be a traditional white loaf of bread, and I'm going to make it entirely in the bread machine. This is a great all-purpose loaf that's great for sandwiches, BLTs, French toast, anything you want to do with it. It's great. It's not too sweet. It's great. And it is 96 degrees here today, and so I'm going to make this totally in my bread machine so that I don't have to turn on the oven. Bread machines won't heat up your house like an oven does, so I love to use them in the summertime when I want to keep my house as cool as possible. So I'm going to use my Zojirushi bread machine today. I love this thing, and I'll just tell you why. I love the long loaf pan. This thing is so great. My regular bread machine that I've used for years and years, its loaf pan is almost 2 inches shorter than this, and so I love this long loaf. It's more traditional. This thing's even longer than my cast iron loaf pans. It's about another inch longer than my cast iron loaf pan. So I love how long it is. It's great for slicing, great for sandwiches. Also, I love the double paddles inside. With my other bread machine, I would have to go in after a few minutes and use a rubber spatula and always get the flour and everything incorporated together. I don't have to with this thing, and I guess it's because of the double paddles. I love it. Also, it's super quiet. My other bread machines are loud. And back when my babies were little and they were taking naps, I would start my bread machine and I would put it out in the barn so that it wouldn't wake up my sleeping babies. So, you know, they just rattle around and they squeak and everything else. So this thing is super quiet. So I love that. Also, I just feel like this is like a superior machine, a superior product you get out of it. So I love it. I've been surprised. Anyway, let's get back to our recipe. This is, like I said, just a traditional white yeast bread, and it is so good. It's just a good one to know how to make in your bread machine. You can just throw it all together, set it, and forget it. So let me just show you how I make it. We're gonna start with 1 1/3 cups of hot water. Just turn your tap all the way to hot. You want it to be about 105 to 110 degrees. I'm just gonna throw that right into my loaf pan right there. Then I want 2.5 tablespoons of melted butter. So I just melted this in the microwave. 2.5 tablespoons, just pour that right on in. Now I'm gonna use bread flour in this recipe. If you don't have bread flour, you can use all-purpose flour. But it's gonna be 4 1/4 cups of flour. I love using bread flour. You'll just get a better loaf of bread using bread flour, but all-purpose will work just fine too. Bread flour, you just get a better rise, a better chew. I just love everything about it, but totally fine if you only have all-purpose. Make this loaf anyway. Okay, so 4 1/4. 4 1/4 cups of flour. Okay, now you want some sugar. I'm gonna use this sugar right here, just plain old white sugar, 4 tablespoons. Okay, so just throw that right on top of your other ingredients in there. Spread is so easy. You just throw everything in, so easy. Now I'm gonna use some dry milk powder. Dry milk powder is awesome to use in your breads. It makes your breads fluffier. Oh, I just love it. But if you don't have dry milk powder, go ahead and reduce your water to a cup and maybe add 1/3 cup of milk instead of using this. But if you have dry milk powder, use it. It is great for your breads and all your other baked goods too. Okay, so 2 tablespoons of dry milk powder. Just throw that right on top. Okay, now 2 teaspoons of salt. Just using plain old white salt. 2 teaspoons. And last is our yeast. This is my active dry yeast. I just store this in the freezer and I get it out. It's time to make bread. And I'm just gonna throw that right on in there. You can make a little well if you want to, but you really don't have to. That's really just important if you're gonna be setting a timer and leaving all your ingredients in here for later. But I'm gonna get this mixed in right away, so I don't need to make a well. But 2 teaspoons active dry yeast. If you only have like rapid rise or instant, go ahead and use that. Okay, so these are all of the ingredients for our traditional white loaf. I'm gonna go ahead and stick this in the bread machine. And I'm just gonna set this to a basic loaf. And I like light crust, but you can choose light, medium, or dark, whatever you like. And I'm gonna press start. There it goes. Do you hear how quiet that is? It's amazing. It's so awesome. So this bread is gonna be done in 3 hours and 15 minutes, and we're gonna have a beautiful loaf of traditional white bread. I'm excited for it. It's gonna be amazing. I will show it to you at that point. Okay, it has been 3 minutes, and take a look at that. Do you see how there's nothing stuck to the sides? That is amazing for a bread machine. I love that. I always would have to go through with a rubber spatula and help get all the flour and stuff off. Don't have to with this one. I love it. You can see the double paddles go in there. Oh, this is so cool. Okay, so our traditional white loaf of bread made in the Zojirushi is ready. The timer just went off and I'm ready to get it out and show it to you. Doesn't that look good? Let's see. See if I can do this sideways. There we go. Okay, here it is. Look at that. Doesn't that look good? I love the look of this bread. Okay, I'm just gonna turn it out. Good, it came out great. Came out really nicely. I am gonna take some butter and I'm gonna rub it all over this bread. Okay, I like to rub the butter all over it because I like nice soft crust. So this really helps with that. Okay, so let's take a look at it. Can you see it? Doesn't that look nice? I love this. I love how long the loaves are. I love just the size of it. Perfect. You can tell it's nice and light and soft and fluffy. So I'm gonna go ahead. Normally you let your bread totally cool before you cut into it so that you have the best crumb. It's easier to slice, but I'm gonna go ahead and cut into it so I can show you this bread. Okay, yep, so far so good. This is looking great. It smells so good. I can't wait to eat this bread. Okay, look at that. You see how beautiful that looks? You can see it steaming. That looks perfect. This is like a perfect little piece of bread. This is a fantastic traditional loaf that is multi-purpose. You can use this for sandwiches. You can use this just to slather some butter on and some jam and eat it as a snack. That's what I like to do. But tonight we're gonna have BLTs for dinner, and so that's why I needed to make a loaf of bread. I'm gonna use this for BLTs tonight. So, let's see. Doesn't that look great? I am super pleased with this loaf. I'm gonna leave the recipe for this traditional white loaf of bread down in the description so that you can try it out. It's just a really good all-around bread that you can use for so many things. It's just really good. So, thank you so much for being here with me on Robyn on the Farm, and I will see you next time.